Yeah, exactly. And actually, this is why countdown is so good. There's other tunes where there's three chords in it, and if you practice the tune for 1 minute, you've practiced all you're going to get out of it in terms of like finding those chords. And countdown is like, I mean, there's so many chords, and so it's not about how fast we can rush through it or how elaborately we can improvise. It's really about like becoming accustomed to our three basic chord shapes, our three mainstream chord shapes, and putting them in different places. That's why it's a really nice tune for that. Um, Same goes with improvisation as well. But let's turn to another one because we want to keep the thing fresh rather than memorizing the chord progression, although that's nice to do if you're going to perform a specific tune. But we want to work on our ability to find chords when we need them and to improvise that way. So let's turn to another page. How about, really can't go wrong, but let's try one that's not over the top. Like, it's kind of a more simple one. Let's try Blues for Alice, Charlie Parker. That's page 55. And we're just going to use it as another another example of structure with different chords, and we have to find those chords. So F6, do you know what that would mean? That's right. And underneath that sixth, what kind of triad will it be? Nope. Major triad. Well, here's the easiest way to remember it. It's not. It's a major triad unless they tell you otherwise. That's the easiest way to think of it. Cool. So, like, if you saw a major seven chord, I mean, it's pretty clear it's major, right? But it's if they say it's a dominant seven chord, they haven't said minor, so you know it's a major triad. So basically, minor triads only apply. I mean, it's to say to minor chords. Yeah, that's the truth. But they'll tell you when it's a minor chord. For example, imagine it didn't say F6 and it just said F. You would know that's a major triad. So it's just the same. They just gave you an extension to put on top, but it's not minor because it doesn't say minor. And so you're safe to assume it's major. So, yeah. So your major triad would be your basic thing. Let's do it high. Let's do it up on the 8th fret. Okay. And now, what we could talk about finding the sixth and putting the sixth in different places and different voicings, but we don't want to go that far out yet. We just want to continue what we did with Countdown in other songs, meaning we have major 7, minor 7, and dominant 7. Which one of those could you substitute out for the 6? Right, so we know minor's out. There's a dominant chord has a major triad, just like a major 7, and it also comes from the Mixolydian mode, which has an actual sixth, just like major. So in a way, yes, you could, but uh, realistically, whenever a book or a song tells you sixth chord, um, what they how do I say this? They would tell you 5 chord if it was going to be a 5 chord because that's so fundamental. Like what I mean to say is they'll say dominant if it's a 5 chord, and so that's one clue. Is that for the most part, songs will tell you dominant if it's a 5 chord. Another one is that a song begins with this. It's more likely it starts with a 1 chord. you can sort of take it for granted that I would really say, I'm going to say 99% of the time. And I can't think of a 1% example. I just want to leave it open, you know, or for you yourself, if you wanted to, you could justify making that change in reharmonizing a tune or something from being an F6 to being F major 7, or from being F6 to F dominant 7, as long as it doesn't conflict with the melody, of course. And we could take a closer look here and go, oh, well, look here. We have an E in that melody, and an E is a major 7th. So obviously we can't do an F7 on this one. But that's a little bit more in depth, you know what I mean? You play it safe. Whenever you see a 6th, just play major 7 for now. I mean, you could just play an F6, but we're just trying to hammer in these 3 voicings. So go ahead and do your F major 7. Cool. Next we have E minor 7, which is, we already had that in countdown. Good. And now we have A7. A7 flat 9, but we're going to ignore that and just do A7. Good. After that we have D minor 7. And then we have G7. Next we have C minor 7. Good. Next we have F7. And then we have B flat 7. Alright. Then we have, yep, B flat minor 7. And then we have E7. I'll go ahead and jump up. E flat 7. So that'll be on the 6th fret. And then we have A minor 7. Yep. And then we have D7. And then we have A flat minor 7. And D, yeah, it's pretty cool. And then D flat 7. And G minor 7. Is that, oh, minor 7. That's G minor 7. Minor. Yep. Good. All right, and then we have C7. And then we have A minor 7. D minor 7. And then we have G7, G minor 7. Yep. Minor 7. Good. And then C7. And then we have our F7 starting over. F6, but we're going to use F major 7. Starting the song over, okay? So we had this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. Oh, sorry, that should have been a 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 2 beats each there. My bad. It starts over. All right. Well, you know what? The thing is, what we want to do is we want to like hammer in just finding the right chords. For example, we could play this a second time or third time, or we could just turn the page. You know what I mean? And then do it again with a new tune. And then what we'll do is we'll talk about little things you can do to make it more interesting. Like, for example, instead of doing this, which is how we want to do it at first while we're just finding our chords, right? There's things we could do like... And there's just a few little tricks that are like, they're not hard. They're not hard at all.